team, shakedown. I married Halle Berry on Sunday. It was a beautiful wedding. She wore a slim white dress made up of the finest lace and wore hand sewn in Paris
What you
by
do,
hundreds of
Jen?
seamstresses. The train, excuse me, the train of her dress stretched out 10 yards behind her, and it covered the smallest and finest of pearls from the ocean. She looked up at me, and her big brown eyes shining with the tears that had threatened to spill over as I gazed at her beautiful face. With the love so big, it was impossible to explain. We promised to love each other in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer. For death unto do us part, and then my heart felt like it was going to burst with joy with happiness. Oh, Ray, she murmured, I love you so much. I don't know what I would have done without you if I hadn't met you. Hello, my Hallie, as I said as I gazed down at her smooth brown skin and her full red lips. I will never leave you, I promise. I will take care of you. The preacher and now it's just man and wife. And I smiled as Lester and my mama threw the wedding rice at us as we ran in the white stretch limousine. Goodbye, everyone, I said. We are traveling around the world, but we will be back in a year to see you all again. Goodbye, my baby, my mama said as she wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me tight. If you bring home a grandchild, you hear, I want twin grandbabies, a boy and a girl.
So much to know. I'll see what I can do. I said laughing and kissing. Stop doing that. And then you did that on
She's
camera.
gone.
I'll see what I can do. I said, laughing and kissing her on the cheek. Lester shook my hand and then patted me on the back. You did it. He said, you found the perfect woman for you. You are a lucky man and Holly is a lucky woman. I knew Lester was genuinely happy for me. We didn't compete with each other and I knew he was glad. I had finally found a love like Sia a love like he and Sia had found. Life was good. I had picked up Holly and I could feel her arms warm up around me. And then I slowly lowered my mouth until my lips were only an inch from her lips, and she was pressing up against my body, and I could feel her breathe slowly, blowing across my face. Hinton, get your ass up, Hinton now. The door slammed open, and four guards rushed into my cell and grabbed my arms just as they were wrapping around Holly Berry's body. I felt myself pushed up against the wall, and my head turned to the right so that my cheekbone pushed into the cold cement. Thank you. One guard's hand was on my upper back, and they were outfitted in full riot gear with vests and weapons. I didn't recognize these four guards. They started turning over my books and throwing my shorts and socks into the hallway outside my cell. We went up my mattress, and my perfect pressed whites that I had been working on creasing for the last 4 days were thrown to the ground and stepped on by a black boot. I watched as pictures of my mama and my nieces were thrown into this hall as well. You don't like this, do you? One of the guards asked. I didn't answer. You got a television here and everything. Seems like death row is pretty cushy here at Holum. I waited to see if they were going to break my TV or throw it out the hall, but they just looked under it and checked to see that there was nothing hidden behind the cord or none of the electronics were loose. You got too many clothes in here. We're going to take half of them. You're not allowed to have so many shorts and socks. This isn't summer camp. I watched them throw more clothes out into the hall. You don't like this, do you? The guard asked again. No, I don't, I said. We might come back in 5 minutes and do this all again. We're here in your prison for 12 hours today, and your staff is over at Dalston going through our prison. Fresh eyes, new things. Hell, we might do this every hour on the hour today. And what you're gonna do about that? I could feel his elbow against my back, and he was pressing me harder into the wall. Why don't you just move in here if you want to do that? You can throw stuff all around then. I'll go out and you can still stay and do what you need to do. I said it quietly, almost politely, and the three guards were going through my stuff, stopped for a second and turned to look at me. One of them laughed. The other two shook their heads, and the one who had me against the wall pressed in even harder. Strip search, take it all off. I looked down and shook my head. This was the worst of what they could have do when they came to shake you down. Our regular guards rarely searched us on the road. There had to be a good person, a weapon found somewhere, or a big dust bust and general population.
Colonel population. Oh shit, that's what it was. Continue.
Nigga, right
You see
here.
that far. Why would you? That's not even the end of the paragraph. I'm fucking
Usually,
nigga.
I don't care.
Usually
Come
they
on,
left us
read.
alone and we kept the peace. All the warden cared about on the road was keeping the peace. We negotiated with it. Negotiated it with him. Each tier side had a representative who never met with the captain of the guards, and he told us what he needed, and we asked for what we needed. Usually we met someone in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. We didn't want trouble, and they were understaffed and didn't want trouble either. But these were guards from another prison, and they liked coming here and flexing their muscles on death row. It made them feel big and powerful. I knew these guys in high school who were really short or bad at sports or who felt powerless and picked on. Now they had some small bit of power. Strip. Strip. Go.
Script. I took off my whites and my socks, and I stood there naked. 2 guards left, and 2 stayed behind. Stick out your tongue. I opened my mouth and showed them I had nothing hindered under my tongue or anything. The cheeks of my mouth. Show us the soles of your feet. I lifted up each foot and showed them the bottom. Spread your legs. I separated my legs in a wide stance. Lift up your testicles. I lifted my testicles and let them drop back down. I wasn't hiding anything under my testicles. They knew it. I knew it. Bend over and spread cheeks. Bend over and spread your cheeks. I bent over. I turned around and I bent over in a half. I grabbed my ass cheeks and spread them wide. Now,
Come on.
I coughed knowing my anus was flaring open for them to see.
Anus was
If
flaring.
my ass was flaring open to see if I had anything hidden in it. It's only to humiliate me. What kind of man enjoyed doing this for another man? What kind of joy did they get from going cell to cell, making a man bend over and show them his ass? They kept me bent over with my ass cheeks spread it longer than they needed to. It was a game. I wasn't a man to them. I wasn't even sure they saw me as human. You can get dressed now and clean up this place. We'll be here all shit. We'll be back. I kept my back to them as they walked to my cell. I pulled up my shorts slowly. Everything was a mess. My sheets were in dirt on the floor. Their boots had stepped in my clean clothes, and even my toothbrush was laid in the corner next to the toilet. I waited for them until they were off of our chair, and I called out to Henry. Henry, I said, "Ray, are you okay?" I asked, did they throw their shit around too? Not so bad. They just lifted up my mattress. I just lifted my testicles and my mattress. I said, and then I smiled at Henry and laughed. I was just wondering my honeymoon with Halle Berry too. They interrupted the good part. You've been watching Queen, haven't you? You bet I have. She's my queen now. And a few other guys around us laughed. Nothing like a shakedown on a Sunday, someone yelled.
I sat back down on my bed and put up my head in my hands. Tomorrow, our regular guards would have come back and pretend to be shocked about what happened. They wouldn't mention that they had gone to one of the other prisons in Alabama and tore things up. This is how they kept themselves from being accountable. He threw out your picture of your mama. You got to be kidding me. And that's how it worked with the shakedown. You never saw it coming, and no one was ever responsible. Alan Black filled amid Rule 32 petition in 1994. In May of 1997, Henry got his execution date, June 6. We tried to keep it positive. Hold your head up, Henry. You just never know what's going to happen. The governor could give you a stay. Stay positive. Guy said these kinds of things to him in the yard on the way to the shower. Compassion doesn't know what color you are, and I think Henry felt more love from the black men on death row than he ever did at KKK meeting or from his own father and mother. We had met a few more times in book club and had your own blues, ain't like mine. To Kill a Mockingbird and Uncle Tom's Cabin. All the books talked about race in the South, and Henry at first has shied away from the subject, almost pretending not to know how unfairly blacks were treated until we called him out on it. He was ashamed of how he had been.
Go.
No.
How she was ashamed about. Donald, the boy that he had killed, I knew he wondered what the boy might have grown up to become. Henry was the first white man to be put to death for killing a black man for 85 years. His death meant something to people outside the row. it was making a point about racism, justice, and fairness, like all the books that we have been reading in book club. But to us, it was a family member being killed. There's no racism on death row.
The guards were extra nice to you the week before they killed you, asking you, were you... Shit, the video over.